Oklahomans angry about senior meal cuts, and now lawmakers say leadership changes need to be made at DHS. Here is Scott Mitchell with today's Your Vote Counts.
Oh boy, the Yankees won the World Series. Surprise!
You guys are big fans.
$210 million payroll. You got a $1.5 billion stadium paid for by the taxpayers.
And we're playing the World Series in November.
Well, I thought those numbers that you guys were ticking off there were requests by the state regents to renovate monasteries in Italy.
So, excess. Let's talk about excess. And there's got to be something behind this. $7-something million in cuts to seniors programs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's something wrong.
Well, absolutely outrageous, messed up priorities, executive branch trying to play games with the legislature. Listen, the budget that we gave the Department of Human Services back in July was mostly a standstill budget, no cuts to senior nutritional services whatsoever. It's true that agencies have had cuts as a result of the revenue shortfall recently. The DHS administration, specifically Howard Hendrick, and I believe with the knowledge of the governor's office, has been balancing this on the back of senior citizens. Absolutely outrageous. To add insult to injury, they've taken $200,000 worth of pay raises in the last 12 months. It is obscene. Guys, we have reason to question the judgment of Howard Hendrick.
Absolutely.
He ought to go.
Hey, well, you know, this is catching everybody's imagination. Yeah. It's $7 million in comparison to the state budget. I mean,
I agree. First of all, I'm glad to have my friend back, Representative Terrell here. Anyway, he's half right and half wrong. The last part of his statement was absolutely correct. Howard Hendricks needs to go. But the first part of Representative Terrell's statement was false. I'll tell you the absolute facts here, folks. I am baffled. The Republican-led legislature cut the budget by $8.5 million for Meals on Wheels, a 1.5% cut. The amount of money they needed was $7.5 million. $1 million more would have been put into the budget for this if our Republican friends over here had given them a standstill budget. Let's cut it out. I'm baffled, folks. Get a hold of those leaders in the House and the Senate, and let's get this.
We can find $7.5 million.
I guess Mel Allen would say, holy cow. All right, he said it first, by the way, not here. All right, Jerome Ersland, pharmacist, on trial. Judge Tammy LeSueur today said cameras in the courtroom, yes. Our justice system is going to be on display for the whole world. What do you think?
Well, apparently so. There are two sides to the argument. Some people think that no cameras in the courtroom makes for a better, a sanitized type of trial. Other people believe, and apparently the judge in this case does believe, that cameras in the courtroom will show to the state and to the nation exactly how Oklahoma justice is dispensed here in our courtrooms. I know both attorneys involved, and I know the judge. I believe we will have a clean trial, and I think overall this is going to be a good thing. It is going to set a precedent, and I think overall it will supplement and help our justice system because people will get a chance to see how it's really done.
Well, the people are going to get to know Jerome Ersland.
Well, they absolutely are, and obviously I've had an opportunity to meet him. But listen, I agree with Representative Moore said, and kudos go to News 9 and the other media organizations. News 9 in particular leading the push to have this trial televised, and I think it was the right decision by the judge. But listen, I've met Jerome Ersland. He's a nice guy. He believes that he was acting in his own self-defense and the defense of the other ladies who were present in that pharmacy when it was robbed at gunpoint. And I think that what the district attorney, David Prater, is doing to this man is a horrendous travesty, not only because of the huge cost involved, but because of the potential chilling effect it's going to have on Second Amendment rights in Oklahoma, guys.
We'll be talking about this.
And by the way, just because he's bound over for trial doesn't mean he will be convicted, and I still don't believe he will be convicted.
Okay, well, we're going to find out in about a month. All right, here we go to the national. Elections this week. Wow, lots of spin from both sides. White House, we won. Pelosi, we won. But the fact is, Republicans may have gotten back in the ballgame.
Well, a little bit. I think it may be more accurate, actually, to say that this is a victory for conservative ideals and values, and maybe a little bit for Republicanism. In the three elections that were highlighted, I think the most significant of those is obviously New Jersey. And the reason why I say that is because it's a traditionally Democrat state. You had an incumbent governor there who got offed, and you had a serious personal investment by the White House. So I think to some degree it was a repudiation of Obama personally and his policies specifically, and I think it sends a very big warning to these blue dog Democrats. You better fear your electorate more than you fear your leadership in Washington, D.C.
But blue dog Democrats are going to have a lot more stroke in Congress now, aren't they?
Well, absolutely they're going to have a lot of stroke. What the blue dogs need to do is get this health care thing off stage center. Barack Obama needs to get it passed, do whatever he needs to get it off, because 1 year away from now we have the midterm elections. Traditionally, the party in the White House loses seats, and Democrats will. But these elections in Virginia, and in New Jersey were clearly snapshots. Corzine in New Jersey was disliked. The Democratic candidate in Virginia was a joke. The House District 23 in Buffalo was bizarro land. The Republicans threw their own person under the bus. The Democrat comes in and wins. Next time he's probably going to lose. So those elections really didn't.
Guys, the Democrat in New York was more conservative than the Republican candidate. It just goes to show that even in the era of Obama, a Democrat can win if there are enough people to split up the vote.
And what it also shows, the Republican Party is as confused as ever.
I think both parties are confused. Okay, we got to revisit that a little bit later. You're not happy with the way H1N1 inoculations are being done.
Well, I'm not. You know, there's a story out of New York on Wall Street. Wall Street, where the thieves, pirates, and robbers live, they're destroying our economic system. Find out that they had 200 vaccines went to people on Wall Street, and New York City hospitals couldn't get them. And now DOC in Oklahoma is requesting H1N1 virus, and we can't get them to our seniors and our children. Folks, what's going on with this world? Let's get it to the people that need them.
And real quick, 2 years since 1804, the immigration reform bill, would you do it again?
So the next thing you know, we'll be giving the vaccines to illegal aliens instead of the seniors and kids who need them. And the answer is absolutely, I would have done it again. In fact, I would have doubled down. Listen, Scott, illegal aliens can no longer get any sort of official government-issued ID. In Oklahoma, no driver's license, no ID cards are cut off from most taxpayer-funded benefits. It has been effective to the extent that it's been enforced. And the same people you saw on TV complaining about it this week are the very people who filed the lawsuit to try to thwart it. It is effective. I would do it again.
And we don't love New York. Back to you.
Yankees.